Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm your host, Brian, joining the other host,
Karen.
And we're doing our new format again, and what I've been trying to do at the beginning of this is like start out by saying like, what have we been listening to? It kind of feels forced, and I just don't like the flow of that, so maybe we ditch that.
We tried.
Yeah.
We've tried a couple times to do that.
Yeah, it just feels weird to like throw that in there. So.
And I've listened to Of Sulfur, so.
Again.
Again.
But we also have a section where we talk about new music where the intent is for us to listen to stuff.
Yeah,
so like that's where
true.
this will kind of sort of pop up, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
So that little intro blurb thingy is going to probably get nixed. So I guess we're going to jump right into the headlines or the newsroom or whatever the fuck we're going to call this segment. I like that idea, newsroom. Any case, headlines or newsroom or whatever the fuck it is, we're going to jump into that. Of this past week's news and all that. And like we say at the beginning of our podcast, it's we were going to talk about anything that we care about or the stuff that we care about, which is mainly metal music and live music. So the first item we have is the Grammys. And yeah, I don't really want to talk about that. I fucking hate the Grammys. I don't get it. It's not important to me. So I don't want to talk about,
Metal is snubbed at the Grammys.
Yeah. Spirit Box had a performance that was pretty good. There was the Ozzy tribute.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Brett Hines didn't get mentioned in the in memoriam section.
A non-metal band won the best metal performance.
Yep. So I don't know who won that.
Turnstile.
That's metal, isn't it?
They're rock.
Are they? I don't know them that much. I guess I'd say hardcore, metalish.
But I'm pretty sure it's rock. According to Wikipedia, they're rock. So.
Anywho, there we go. We talked about the Grammys.
Yay.
So moving on to our next one, I guess, for the third week in a row or fourth week in a row, we're going to talk about Megadeth.
Oh, yay.
Because they had their new album, their self-titled album come out, their last album, actually, and it was their first #1 Billboard Top 200 album.
The first one?
Their very first one, yes.
And the people that have listened to it says it's not very good. So that's interesting.
We
talked about the album. We don't have to go into that. I'm just saying it's interesting that it's the first #1.
So this does go into details, this article. I think Symphony of Destruction, I think Countdown to Extinction in like 1992 or something was their highest previous album at #2 when that came out. They did say for this particular one, I think it was 73,000 units were sold for this album. And they track like streaming in there as well. I don't necessarily know how they come up with this number of like albums sold. But one thing I was thinking about with this is how do you track this with the different vinyl variants and how many people are buying multiple copies of the album to get the different variants of the album? Because I know that was one thing I think a few years ago with like the Slipknot album when their last one came out. I think they had like 9 different CD types that had, a different face from each member on there. So then you'd want to buy all of them to collect all the member covers and whatnot. So that would then be 9 cells for that. So that would help, kind of inflate your numbers a little bit. And also I think with Disturbed, with their Evolution album, we bought like 4 tickets to that show, or we bought like 6 or 7 tickets or whatnot. And every single ticket came with a free digital download or physical copy. And we opted for the physical copy. So on our bookshelf over here, we have like a stack of that album on CD. And at the time we didn't have a CD player, but I'm like, fuck it, send me physical media. I'll pay the shipping for it. But yeah, I think that might be inflating some of these numbers for why this is #1. I do believe they also said in this article, or Billboard said, this is the lowest selling #1 album in like the last 5 years or something like that. So it's been a while since like this few units sold would equate to a #1.
Maybe it's also just because people are listening to it because it's their last album.
Also that, right,
so,
exactly.
Who knows?
But in any case, congratulations. Megadeth, there's better Megadeth albums out there, which are kind of shocking to me. But, the industry's changed over time, and I've never really given shit again about the Billboard Top 100 or 200 or whatnot. Same thing with the Grammys. It doesn't feel representative of who I am and the music I like. So another thing that, hey, it's cool, you have it, that's awesome, but at the same time, I don't really give a shit. So cool, congratulations. The next article I saw that I want to talk about was David Buchan, or I'm sorry, I'm fucking up that last name, but Waddy from The Exploited collapsed on stage in Germany. This was actually back in January 31st, so a couple weeks ago, or I guess just a week ago. Yeah,
a week ago from when we were recording. It'd be 2 weeks from posting, but
Whenever I've read this until January 31st, I thought it was like December 31st.
Oh.
So that's why I kept thinking this was like really old news. But in any case, he collapsed on stage and they ended up canceling the rest of their tour for this. They posted a statement basically saying that he had flu, he was dehydrated. That's what led to his collapsing on stage. But apparently he's kind of sort of having not a history. Oh yeah, I guess a history of collapsing on stage. Like it's happened 2 or 3 times in the past as well.
I feel like it was just recently.
2022, I think, was one
Oh,
of
was
them.
that how long ago it was?
It's been a bit.
I feel like it was more close, but I mean, everything's just going by so fast. So
Yeah, maybe 2022, 2014, somewhere in there. It's happened a couple of times, I think, in the past. And one of them, I think, was a heart attack. And we just saw them on the boat. Lots of energy, really cool dude on stage and whatnot. Not necessarily our style of music, more punky and whatnot, but they put on a great fucking show. And one thing I was thinking when reading this article or seeing this article was, like, even Ozzy, I think during Back to the Beginning was saying, like, if I can go up on stage and die on stage and that's the last thing I do in life, I'd be the happiest person ever. And I don't know if, he's feeling the same way here, but I can see a performer who wants to get up on stage, make people happy, go out there and perform, do the thing they love, which is sing music, perform music live in front of people, that dying on stage might be the best way for them to go. And when Ozzy said it, I was like, fuck, that's metal as fuck. That's awesome. And I think other people said that as well. But I was like,
there's so many people that thought that Ozzy was going to die.
Yeah.
Like at the show.
But like thinking about this, when I read this article, like even thinking about if Ozzy had died on stage, that's not something I really want to watch or see.
No. Or like have something happen or like a medical emergency happen. Like you don't want to see that.
Yeah. I mean, 5 years ago, my mindset might have been different. I was a little more, I guess, younger, and I thought I was edgier and like it'd be cool to see shit like that. But now it's like, I don't need to see that. Like, go out, do your performance, and then go backstage, and then go ahead and kick it. But best off, don't kick it. Like, come back and do another show. And I mean, I know everybody has to go and whatnot, so it's good to hear that this particular incident it sounds like it was flu related and dehydration from, like, you get dehydrated when you have the flu and whatnot. So again, not something like shrug away either, because the flu can be kind of scary. And again, as I get older, that's more and more true. I think the flu affects you a little bit more as you get older.
As you get older, and not as like a child.
Yeah, so it's good to hear that it sounds like it's not something super, super serious, and that they, possibly can come back and after, some time to recover and whatnot and go out there and tour again and start playing again. So if that's what they want to do, of course. So, but yeah, that was one thing I saw this week.
Sounds like this one's going to be depressing as well.
Yeah, and that's the vocalist for Omnium Gatherum, Yuka Pelkonian. I'm sorry, I'm really fucking up that name. Again, I don't mean to. But Yuka was diagnosed with lymphoma. I don't know a whole lot about lymphoma other than I think it's like a lung disease or lung cancer and whatnot.
Yeah, I know it's like a cancer of some sort.
So hopefully he can fight through this and get back on tour. We just saw them at Reggie's, I think it was. Was it Reggie's? Yeah. No, it wasn't right. Yeah, it was. It was Reggie's.
It was Reggie's. Yeah, sorry.
With their new album tour they went on last year, late last 2025. Really fun show. We've seen them again. That was our second time seeing them. The first time was with Helvetii.
Oh, right. Out at the Forge.
And one of their singers was sick and couldn't make it. So he stepped in and helped sing his parts. Yuka did. I remember that now. Yeah,
I remember that.
But now Omnium Gatherum is going to continue to tour, because they had like a big lineup set and whatnot to go out. And they've got a replacement vocalist. Or not a replacement, but somebody to step in and help out with that tour. Who is Henry, I believe.
Henry Hamalayan.
From Shade Empire and Halesis. Again, sorry for fucking up those
all
names.
those words wrong.
Yeah, sorry about that. But again, hopefully a quick recovery there, and everything
is to doing what he loves to do.
Yeah, hopefully everything goes.
And he's a great frontman. So
he is. He's a lot of fun.
Hopefully everything works out great.
Yeah, definitely. The next article I saw was that Furnace Fest was sold. I didn't know that this was a festival.
Oh, I did, yeah.
This is a hardcore, metalcore, and like emo focused festival or something like that. I think it takes place in Birmingham, Alabama every year.
I thought it was in Oklahoma, but that makes sense.
I think the next one is taking place in Birmingham, and that's this year. I think it's still happening for this year. But the organizers sort of sold the festival to this unnamed promotion company or whatnot, basically, that they said. So part of me is like, fuck, is that Live Nation? Is that why it's sort of unnamed? I'm sure that will pop out in the future at some point.
I don't think Live Nation would put their name into Furnace Fest. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I think they would. They don't give a shit as long as it's a live thing.
That's true.
They can make money on it.
Yeah.
But I guess in 2025, there's a lot of mismanagement that possibly happened where bands were unpaid. It was just sort of, they had a lot of debt. So one article I saw or one post I saw was from like Johnny Grimes, I think was his name, but he was like a former managing partner of the festival based on one of the articles I read. And he was saying after the lack of success from 2025, they approached this production company for help with the debt relief to, you know, get back on track to hopefully get things steered in the right direction for future Furnace Fests. So this company apparently said, yeah, we'll go ahead and pay off your debts and help you with that. But in return, we get the festival.
Yeah.
And then apparently Johnny was sort of ousted from there. At which point another managing partner or former partner, Mike Zimmer, made a statement. Let me pull that up real quick if I can find it. But basically his statement was saying around like, you know, 2024 was successful and then we were ousted. Me and I think another individual by the name Ryan Luther. I think, I don't know who all these people are, but I think it was Ryan Luther. But yeah, again, they were in that sort of management leading team of the festival from what I can gather. And then they were sort of ousted after 2024. And in 2025, that's when, you know, you saw it take a sharp turn downwards from what I'm gathering. So, you know, he's sort of like a pointing the finger now. Like, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault type thing.
Yeah.
But Mike did say he is looking to restart So What Festival in 2027.
What's So What?
I do not know.
Oh, okay. You said that in a way of like that you know what it is and you want to go or something.
So What, I think, was a magazine that Metallica was always a big part of, or at least they have a magazine called So What. We have a book over here on our shelf that I have not read, but it is called, you can kind of see it, called So What, which I think is from those magazines. I think they have a song called Soa, or I can't remember exactly how, but I've always associated the word or the phrase So What with the question mark and exclamation point with Metallica. I've always associated that. So to hear that there was a festival that might be restarting is interesting to me. I've never really thought about that or knew that it was a festival other than it being sort of like that magazine or somehow associated with Metallica. So I don't know. That will be interesting to see how that turns out. Again, that's tentatively, or he's aiming to get that back up in 2027. So who knows if it will actually happen or not.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't know anything about Furnace Fest. And yeah, it just seems right now it's a lot of finger pointing at like, it's your fault, it's your fault.
Yeah.
And now a new company has basically bought it. So they're going to try to, I'm assuming, bring it back up, make it successful. And depending on what the company's history is, try to milk every penny out of it would be my guess, especially if it's Live Nation. But our last article I had for us is that Twisted Sister has canceled all of their 2026 shows for their 50th anniversary tour. The last I knew about this is that they had announced last year in 2025 that they were looking to do a 50th anniversary tour. That's all I knew. They didn't announce any dates or anything along those lines, so I was actually really excited for this. But apparently Dean Snyder is going through some health issues and is taking a step back. So this particular article I read basically said, hey, we have to cancel it. Dean Snyder's not doing so well right now. We need to let him recover, get a little better. Hopefully there'll be more news coming out in the future weeks. I saw this posted on Reddit as well yesterday while we were like out and about, and I was just scrolling and whatnot. And it said something along the lines of that he's stepping away because he has degenerative arthritis and he can't perform, and he's taking himself out and saying like, I'm going to leave Twisted Sister so they can go back on and tour and maybe get a new singer and whatnot. So I didn't really read those articles too much. Again, I was just sort of reading through comments and whatnot of Reddit. So I expect that might be actually what's going on. We'll hear more news, maybe possibly a new singer coming in to step in for Dean Snyder, and then going on tour with that new singer. But yeah, that's a little bit of a disappointment for me. I'm not the biggest Twisted Sister fan, but it would have been fun to see them on stage for the first time.
Yeah.
So again, all the best for Dean Snyder, and recovery and whatnot, and taking care of himself physically and mentally and all of that. A lot of depressing sickness in the news this week.
Next week, let's try to find articles that are not about sickness and stuff.
You can't control that. Whatever happens, happens, I guess. But yeah, hopefully not. But yeah, that wraps up the newsroom. Heading into the studio now, where we talk about bands with albums that they're working on or have been announced. And the first one I'm really excited for, In Flames is working on their 15th album.
15th, wow.
15th studio album. Wow. Not a whole lot going on there, other than like no release date or anything, other than they're in the studio currently working.
Not a whole lot going on, but they're working on it. So
sure, yeah, there's a lot going on. Not a whole lot of news around that, but
I understand.
Excited for that. Another new album in the works, hopefully for 2026, apparently. Hatebreed, they have a new album.
Oh.
They also have a new single, Make the Demons Obey. I have not listened to that yet.
I didn't know about that. Yeah,
that's
I'll
like
listen
their
to that.
first music, I think, in like 5 or 6 years or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a little while. Yeah.
But they've been out touring and shit, so we've seen them a number of times.
Yeah, they've been doing stuff, but...
So good for them. I'm excited for that. Again, not the super biggest Hatebreed fan, but I do really like their shows. So a new album hopefully means another tour to support that album. But like we said, they're already touring a lot anyway, so not a lot, but a decent amount. Moving along, we have Haste the Day with Dissenter coming out May 1st. This was labeled as a Indian bred metalcore.
Indiana or Indian? Because that says Indiana.
Oh, my bad. My dyslexia kicked in. I thought it was Indian, as in like the country, India. But no, I think you are right. It is Indiana.
Where'd you see that?
Where did I see that?
Yeah, they're from Indiana.
Yeah, right there. The Indiana bred metalcore band. Yeah, so my dyslexia definitely kicked in there. It's definitely Indiana, not Indian. I was very excited because I had not heard of this band. Apparently they've been around for a while, but I was like, shit, is this going to be, not necessarily similar to Bloody Wood, but...
Oh, so you were thinking like
more,
Indian.
Yeah. So I was like, shit, that's super awesome. Another, like, Bloody Wood is new metal, folk new metal, so this would definitely be different, but maybe bring in those other cultural aspects. But again, dyslexia fucking sucks, and it is Indiana. It's a state, not a country.
I have a problem with the word bread that people use all the time. Like, I was raised in bread. Or bread and
really? You don't like
whatever.
that?
No, because like from terms of animals, bread means that they've had children or like had babies. Like you
but
breed
they were
them.
The baby of the states. They were, I don't know.
No, like, so it's like, do they all have children and that's why they were bred? I don't know.
They are all children of someone from that state.
But that means that you were born, not bred. That means your parents were bred.
I kind of get where you're coming from.
People use it incorrectly. And
I don't think so.
I hate when people say it.
Okay, we'll move on. Agree to disagree there. Anywho, the last one I have for In the Studio, I think we may have known about this for a while, but Bruce Dickinson is working on his solo album.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
I think I brought it up in the past. I don't remember when, but I'm pretty sure I did. It's expected out early 2027, so next year. But the cool thing here is he's working at Dave Grohl's studio, 606 Studio, which if I'm assuming then that means he's working on that tape board. Which we watched the Sound City on when we were in Ireland. We went to that rock museum, which they had another tape, like a physical tape recording set table or whatever the fuck those things are called, engineering table or not table, whatever the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's only like 4 of those in the world. I think then Lizzie used that one in Ireland, they said, and the one that Dave Grohl now has was from the Sound City in L.A., and like so many iconic albums were recorded on that equipment. So really, really cool to see that. And I loved that documentary. Sound City's the name of it. I said it several times, but going into the history of that studio and how, like, who came through there and the stories that they told, and just all the iconic albums. And Dave loved it. His Nirvana album, their first album, I think was done there as well. And so he loved it so much that he, after it shut down, he bought the equipment and took it into his own studio. So really cool documentary, definitely worth checking out. But Bruce Dickinson, I'm guessing, is now working on that board, so should be a fun album. And then now let's move into the actual music we listened to this week, which I only listened to one thing.
Yeah, I only have one too.
Which was from Chained to the Bottom of the Ocean, I believe is the band, and their song was An Adornment of Light. Adornment of Light. Thank you. Again, dyslexia.
It's okay.
They're a Massachusetts doom sludge band.
Oh, interesting.
I was super interested when I saw doom sludge. So I listened to this one. I definitely get the sludge. Okay. I don't get necessarily doom in the vocals.
Doom like Trouble Doom, where it's like quicker doom?
No, it's weird. The sludgy is definitely a little slower and like chunkier and whatnot. The vocals though are much more death metal vocals to me. Okay. In this track in particular, but the music instrumental aspect is definitely like the sludgy, doomy kind of bit as well. So I definitely get like a death doom sludge, I guess. Okay. After this, it changed. Like I was listening to it on Spotify. It shuffled to the next song by them, which was Hole in My Head. I liked that song so much better. Which had definitely got a lot more doom than death from the vocals there, but still more death metal for sure. But yeah, I started with this new track from them. It was good, don't get me wrong. I just liked that other track a little better, but it was really good. It was really fun. I liked it. Definitely a band I want to check out some more for sure. Yeah,
that sounds interesting. I'd check that out to see what the song sounds like.
Yeah, for sure.
Or the band sounds like.
I think I was listening to it in the office the other day when you came in to like do something, and it was just sort of on in the background. But that was like the second or third track from them.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
But yeah, that was what I listened to. The one song I checked out this week. What did you check out?
I listened to Silosis. They have a new album coming out in April, and they had what do they call that? A single drop, Lacerations.
Okay.
We listened to Silosis. We've not seen them, but you listened to Silosis and you didn't really like it. In my mind, it's kind of like thrash metalcore. They have very thrashy elements, but then the melodic parts of metalcore and some drops and stuff like that. So
yeah, the name sounds super familiar to me. I don't remember them.
So we found out about Silosis when Trivium was touring in St. Louis.
Right, that's what it was. Yes.
And like the kid at a hotel, not the hotel we stayed at, but another hotel, was like telling us about how he was so excited. But then this was the first one where Bleed From Within,
I believe that was who was there with them. Yeah,
playing with them.
This was in St. Louis when we went to go check that out. Yep. We did an episode on that. I think we told this story on there.
We did.
And I think we told this story the last time you brought up Silosis, because I did the same thing. I was like, they sound really familiar. I don't remember them. And as soon as you said the kid in the hotel at the Trivium show, I was like, oh shit, that's right.
Then it clicks for you.
That's where it was. Yeah.
So I liked the song. It does have the thrashy elements, the metalcore elements and everything. There is one little part that when I heard it the first time, I was like, did they copy the lyrics to another song?
Oh, really?
So this song, Lacerations, has the lyrics that the world before you is not the same for me. And how the tone goes, it is very much like Lorna Shore singing, a world without you isn't meant for me.
I guess.
The lyrics are different.
Yeah.
But the first time I heard it, I was like, that is so similar.
It reminded you of that Lorna Shore track.
Yeah. And how it flows is so similar.
Did it click right away? Like, oh, that's Lorna Shore, and you knew that? Okay.
Yeah. Like, and I put it in a clipboard, or like on a clip page, just so I had the exact wording, because I was like, well, at first I thought that it said, instead of, gosh, sorry, now I'm going to mess it up. That the world before you is not the same for me. I thought it said a world without you isn't the same same for me. And that's even closer to the lyrics. So that's the only little thing I have, is like having similar lyrics.
I'm not familiar with either of these two songs, so I'd have to listen to them. And even then, I personally probably wouldn't pick it up.
Yeah.
And even you saying the words, I already don't get it. So, if I saw them written, maybe then I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe a little bit. So
during Lorna Shore's show, it's when it goes quiet and then he starts whispering. We watched it so many times on like Instagram or whatever, the reels. and then it's like he starts singing, and
Okay.
then he's like, "In a world without wasn't meant for me."
It's not ringing any bells to me. No.
Okay. Next time we see it,
Maybe.
I'll let you
Yeah. I'm sure you will. Yeah, I saw an article not long ago. I can't remember who it was by, but they were talking about Taylor Swift because she had some criticism on her last album of like not necessarily stealing, but borrowing, in quotes, music from other artists and whatnot. I don't know if
really?
it's lyrics or if it's like actual like riffs or, you know, chord progression or something along those lines. And this was a metal dude, I think it was. And he's basically saying like people borrow, and I think again in quotes, stuff from other artists all the time. It's like common practice, much more than you would actually think.
Yeah.
And I see this every now and then as well when I'm like doom scrolling of people being like, this song sounds just like this song, but this one came out 5 years earlier or something like that. I think I have it saved as like a 666 topic down the road that we could talk about, but this sounds almost similar to that, where it's like, we're going to take influence from this, not necessarily rip it off, but it's definitely, it sounds like it possibly was influenced by Lorna Shore.
Yeah, and it could be. I mean, I'm not trying to do like a debate on like, oh, they copied Lorna Shore. I'm just saying the lyrics were similar, and it made me think of that song. I mean, it's the same as listening to After the Burial with, and then like the beginning riff reminding me of Surfacing, because it's like almost the same. And
you said that time too, I remember, and I'm like, I don't get it. I guess I do.
Yeah.
But also in our main topic for tonight, which we haven't talked about what our main topic is. If you read the title and maybe description, you know.
Oh yeah, true. We haven't said anything.
But at one of the bands, there was a riff they used. I was like, that sounds just like Slipknot as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was, again, an interesting topic that, you know, we can probably do a 666 on sometime down the road.
Yeah.
But that sounds like those were just our two tracks we listened to, our new tracks that we listened to this week.
Yes.
That were released this last week. Much more music that we didn't listen to. Like we said, the Hatebreed has a new song out, so we didn't listen to that yet. And it's on the list now to listen to. So I guess let's move along to the merch table, because we have more merch items to talk about. The first one is Heaven and Hell box set. So I haven't been super versed on Heaven and Hell before in terms of like a music band, but I knew Black Sabbath had an album called Heaven and Hell with Dio, and the song Heaven and Hell is like, I love that song. So good. The bass bit at the beginning, I fucking love that. And so somebody in the past were like, oh yeah, I went and when Heaven and Hell was touring, I got to go see that and check that out with Dio and all that. This is really, really cool. And I was like, you mean Black Sabbath? Like, what an idiot. It was in my head what I was thinking of. But no. So Black Sabbath, or a couple members, got together with Dio when he came back to the group. And instead of touring or performing under the name of Heaven and Hell, or Black Sabbath, they went under the name of Heaven and Hell. So there's now a box set coming out with all of their shit they've done, basically, which is only like one studio album, I think, and like two live albums or something like that. So you can get it on CD from Rhino Records or whatnot for $69.98 or $70, and then for $199.98 you can get the vinyl version. So $200 for that. And like I said, you get like the two live albums, the studio album. I think you get like a poster or some shit, and you get a DVD, CD and DVD, I believe, as well, Blu-ray. So kind of cool.
Do they have their own music, or is it like Black Sabbath music that they play?
So they play, the live albums are from that studio album that came out in like 2007 or something, when they came back as the band Heaven and Hell. But then they also play stuff from when Dio was in Black Sabbath. So they play the Dio era Black Sabbath stuff on the live stuff, or their live shows, as well as that new album that they went out to tour for. So a little bit of both. And you get that song Heaven and Hell on one of those shows as well. And then the last album, or sort of the last merch item I wanted to talk about, was the Record Store Day list was announced. We're going to do a 666 on this. It should have already been posted. This is going up on Thursday. That should have been up this last Monday on our YouTube channel, where we basically just go through and talk about all the albums that jumped out to us in terms of like what we would like. And we talk through our process of, making a long list and then shortening it down as time goes on. Not sure if we'll be able to participate this year.
I don't think so.
But there's a lot of cool stuff, I think, that we saw or sort of identified.
Yeah, this is a really good announcement for metal. So
the biggest one that I'm excited for, and I want to get, we'll either get it on the secondary or wait for it to be re-released, which I definitely assume it will be, is the Look Outside Your Window. This is that long lost, long awaited Slipknot album that Clown has been, saying it's on its way, it's going to come out. But they're not releasing it as Slipknot. They're releasing it as Look Outside Your Window, sort of a self-titled thing. And this is, I believe it was during Cycle Social, that album release, or that album they were working on. A group of them, I think it was Sid, Sean, Corey, Joey, and I think Paul, all sort of went off and did their own thing. And if you've listened to Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat, you kind of know that they can go in really weird areas, really weird directions. They all have sort of a collective weird ass music taste that they kind of bring in to build Slipknot. To see this finally come out, and I've heard people talk about it or who have listened to it. I haven't talked to them, but I've read articles and whatnot where they were like, this sounds nothing like Slipknot. It's so fucking out there and weird. I'm really excited for it because, like I said, they all have these weird ass fucking music tastes. Sean did Too Much Surprise. That was his side project when they all broke off and did their own thing there originally. And I loved that album. It's so fucking different. So I'm super excited for Look Outside Your Window, and I can't wait to finally listen to it. But that wraps up the merch table. Before we get to our main topic for the evening, we do have to stop by the cemetery gates real quick.
This was just yesterday.
Just yesterday. More sickness and death.
When we're recording, because
yes,
we're recording on Sunday, February 8th.
Yep.
Yes.
We were out and about in the city, and you were just sort of scrolling, and you're like, the lead singer for Three Doors Down died. And I was like, what, 3 Days Grace, their lead singer died? That's what I really thought you were saying. But no, it was Brad Arnold, the founding member and singer of Three Doors Down, passed away from kidney cancer.
Did we see them at Upheaval?
No, we have never seen them.
We've never seen them.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, Upheaval was in my brain that we saw them. So
we saw 3 Days Grace.
I know we saw 3 Days Grace. Yes, I know that.
He was 47, unfortunately, and passed away from, like I said, kidney cancer. I think this is the third time we've done a cemetery gates on this new format, and it's the third person who has passed away from cancer, I believe. So cancer fucking sucks.
Yes.
I was never really the biggest fan of Three Doors Down. It's good rock music, don't get me wrong. It was always on like Laser and Rock 108.
Played it a lot.
Growing up, my first friend who lived across the street from me, I think, introduced me to Three Doors Down. And he's also the kid who introduced me to like Spawn. He went to Toys R Us. His parents said he can buy one toy, and he came home with a Spawn action figure. And ever since then, I loved Spawn. So he introduced me to Three Doors Down and Spawn. So I was like, fuck this. I don't know. Good taste, I guess. But there was that Kryptonite song that I like, holy shit, this song's awesome. And I loved it. It was played all over the place. I got burnt out on it really easily. And then I sort of completely forgot about Three Doors Down. They had a few other songs come out in like the early 2000s. I guess that was like, I think 2000. So like 2002 or something. I think their next album came out, which I think was like Here Without You. And what's the other song? Let me look that up real quick. And When I'm Gone. And I remember those coming out, and I remember kind of liking them, but sort of never thought about them again until 10 years later or so, when I started getting away from more metal. And when those came out, I was definitely in the that's not metal, I don't like it phase. But then, 10 years later, kind of resurfaced for me, and I've rediscovered them, and like, oh, this is actually really good. I do enjoy this. So really sad to see him go at a young age too. So that really sucks. And that takes us to our main topic for the night, our concert report, which is Left to Suffer. Yep. Which, again, this is our first time mentioning what we're doing. We need to get better at that at the very start of the episode.
Say it at the beginning and then go through all our topics.
But it's in the title. It's in the description of this episode a little bit. This was at Reggie's. Tickets for this were $25 at the door is what we paid. If you bought this online ahead of time, they were $20 with $7.29 in fees.
That's what you have screenshotted. I remember seeing that they were going to be $33 or $32.
Yeah, I don't know where you saw that.
On Reggie's website.
Interesting.
The day of, to see if they still had tickets.
Interesting, because I got a screenshot of that, and like that was the price I saw. So weird.
It's very interesting.
Opening for them, it was a big show. There were 5 bands total. Left to Suffer as the headliner. Working the way down the bill, then you get The Last 10 Seconds of Life. I'm gonna get this name fucking wrong. I'm sorry. LarcEnia RoE. Freak with a 3 for the E. And then Beheading the Icon, which apparently is a local band.
Yes. Not apparently, they are.
Sure. I did not know that going in. It sounds like this tour was tapping local artists to come and open for them, as well as that first open slot, which is really, really cool.
Yeah. I feel like that happens a lot at Reggie's shows.
Beheading the Icon, I think, was definitely my favorite out of all the... Sorry, yes, Beheading. What did I say? Breathing. Sorry. Beheading the Icon was definitely my favorite of the 5 bands for sure. Everything after that, outside of Freak, to me, was very similar.
Oh, okay.
They're all very deathcore-y, death metal, deathcore.
Yeah.
Beheading the Icon was my kind of death metal. They reminded me of like Amon Amarth almost. Not like the same structure of songs and whatnot, but like they had a lot more thrashy elements, and they had elements in the middle of their songs where, you know, very, I don't know what the right word is, but like the composition of the songs and the guitar riffs in the middle and everything, it sounded much more my style of death metal for sure, which again, the vocals tied with that reminded me a little bit of Amon Amarth, not necessarily the lyrics or the theme of the song, because there was no Viking theme, but
yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Seeing the vocalist for Beheading the Icon, like if you saw him on the street, he would just be like a skinny, nerdy guy. And then to see the performance that he can put on is just, it doesn't fit
his look.
Yeah. I don't know if you know what I mean, but like, you know, where you have like the look of what you think like a death metal like vocalist is going to look like, and then you have him, and it's like you should be sitting in an office doing some calculations or something.
I don't remember it that well, honestly, of his look and whatnot. The cool thing is this was at Reggie's, and I don't know if this is cool or not, but they've been recording a bunch of their shows and posting them on their YouTube channel. And you said as of yesterday, this was still up that you could watch.
Yeah, you could see it.
Including the headliner too.
Yeah, sometimes it cuts off before like some of the bands are like, so I'm assuming it's are you okay with us recording this? Because sometimes they record all the bands, sometimes they just record like one of them. So
yeah, the first time we did this, we stayed home and watched a show on their Twitch channel.
Yeah, that's when they didn't do YouTube yet, but they just did Twitch.
Okay. So now they've sort of moved over to YouTube and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'll have to rewatch this because I really did like their set. It was a lot of fun, but yeah, super awesome. Freak was the next band.
Yeah.
This was the young kids, right? The two
hardcore
girls and the 2 guys.
Yeah.
The girls on bass and guitar, and the guys on drum and singing. And they were definitely a hardcore band, like you said. I didn't mind it. I'm enjoying hardcore more and more that I go to it, but it's definitely not my cup of tea.
After a couple songs, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. Like, let's move on to something else.
Same.
Yeah, but maybe not the good thing, but hardcore bands don't play very long. And they played for a whole 17 minutes.
Yeah.
So
47 songs, but 17 minutes.
Yeah, we don't know how many songs. They don't have a set list up, but it's just our joke because their songs are like very short. So. And
we were at Knotfest, Iowa a couple years ago, and one of the bands there was a hardcore band, and they were up on stage.
Like 3 Teeth or something?
I don't think so. I don't know who it was.
I thought it was.
But whoever it was, they were basically like, yeah, we're a hardcore band. Our sets are 15 minutes long, and we have 40 minutes to fill. So I don't know what the fuck we're going to do. Let's play the same set again. Or some kind of joke like that.
We don't play this long. Yeah, we don't know how to have energy to play this long.
Yeah, he's like, I used all my energy there. I think they played maybe 5 more minutes. And like, all right, we're actually done now. We can't do this. Yeah. But yeah, the hardcore, they go hard real fast and right up front. And don't get me wrong, it was a good set. They had a lot of energy. The crowd got really into it. It just wasn't my go-to music.
It's not our thing, so yeah.
One thing we haven't said yet, at Reggie's they have this sort of up balcony area up behind like center stage and whatnot. There's a bench up there. There's a couple loungy chairs and whatnot. It was cold out, so we had our coats. We didn't want to hold those all night or wear them all night. So we figured, fuck it, let's grab some of those chairs and just hang out there for a bit. Other people were coming up and just throwing their coats on the benches and going back down. We could have easily done that too. But we stood up there or hung out there. We got a couple of those chairs for the entire show and watched that. So it was our first time experiencing the show from up there. What were your thoughts on seeing the show from up there?
I mean, it's fine. It's a different experience from a Reggie show, but
you definitely don't get that like crowd energy.
No. And this night, the crowd was definitely moving a lot, and I think it would have been a fun night to be like on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was fine.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I would do it again though.
Yeah, I said the first time we seen a show there, I have seen a show from up there before, and it was where like my foot was killing me.
Yeah, that was after you came home from Ireland, right?
Yeah, and I had a really bad flare up. So it was good just to be up there and rest my foot a little bit instead of being down there crowd. And that was a very, I don't want to say oversold, but it felt oversold for that space. But yeah, I guess moving along. So none of these bands have set lists, so that's why we're not going through their set lists. If we did, we'd throw them on our playlist. And like I said, it is on YouTube. We could go back and listen. And some of the bands do like mention what the names of their songs are. So if we do go back and rewatch this, we could then sort of write down and add them to the playlist then.
Monday at work or tomorrow at work, I'll probably be watching this.
Yeah, so if you think about it, take notes. And
for when they do announce the songs.
Yeah.
Not every song is announced, but
definitely do that. And then just do like unknown, and we maybe can go on to Setlist FM and add them in and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on then, I guess, to the next band, LarcEnia RoE. LarcEnia RoE. Sorry that I'm messing up
That's how I would
name.
say it. They said it a couple times, but sometimes his mic was a little muffled, so it's hard to hear.
I did notice that when we were up there, I felt like the vocals were not the greatest.
I don't know if it's just where we were versus like being on the floor, because we talked about this, I think, yesterday when we were out doing other things, but like there's one time that we were at a show and we kind of were basically on rail. There's no rail at Reggie's, but like
you're like on the stage
basically. And I had to back up because like you can't hear anything. Everything was so muffled because like how the speakers are set up, like you kind of need to be middle center or whatever. So I'm just thinking that how the speakers are set up, like maybe up in the balcony, it just doesn't flow very well.
That's what I was thinking too. I mean, the vocals definitely sounded muffled and not the greatest up there, but the instrument bits sounded fine to me.
Yeah. I mean, it sounded fine. It just wasn't perfect.
Right. No, agreed.
Sense?
Yeah. And especially those talking bits in the middle where they're like talking to the crowd and interacting with the crowd. When there's no music, that to me was the muffled part the most.
And I'm wondering with deathcore band or like death metal or deathcore bands if they tune down the mic to not have it be overpowering. I don't know how they do that, but
I don't know.
I don't know if that's anything that they do. So when they talk, maybe that's why it's a little bit quieter.
Yeah, that could be.
So,
with their set, and I guess with Freak too, we didn't really mention this. There were a lot of backing tracks, backing elements, like especially in between songs.
LarcEnia RoE had that?
I think they did.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure they did because there was one song, if I remember correctly, that it sounded like it was the Mortal Kombat, where like finish him, and then they go into the song.
Okay.
And then they said at the very end of that track, I think it was the same track, is like fatality or complete or something like that. And it's like, all right, now we have 2 more songs for you. It's like, well, you kind of fucked that up. That should have been your last song, especially if you're going to do that backing track to like finish them is the way to get into your last track. And then fatality would be like, it's over, it's finalized.
Right.
I was not a fan though of all of the backing elements of like the intro song bits. And I know bands do it just to like, if you listen to them on Spotify or something, they recorded stuff, they have those intros for songs and whatnot. I'm just not the biggest fan of it, and to have it on every single song was a little annoying to me.
Yeah, I missed the LarcEnia RoE ones, but I remember Freak having a lot of the backing tracks.
And I just thought that was a hardcore thing, and then LarcEnia RoE came in and they had it as well. I was like, I'm kind of getting over this backing element shit. Doing it a couple times I'm fine with, but every single song was a little annoying for me. Some of them were funny, and I think that's kind of the point. But other ones I'm just like, let's just keep going, please.
Yeah, I haven't looked up the lyrics or like the songs. I mean, obviously we don't know the songs that they actually played, but according to Spotify, LarcEnia RoE is a American horror deathcore group from North Carolina. So I'm wondering if that's where the backing tracks come in, is to bring in the horror aspect.
That could be. I know like Ice Nine does the exact same thing, and it's a little annoying there as well, because it's like every single song is like the worst vacation. We're going to talk about like the shower scene shit and whatnot. Like, I get what you're doing, but let's just get into the song, please.
Yeah. I
did not get that horror bit though when they were playing.
I mean, I didn't really get it either. That's why I'm wondering like how the lyrics go or whatever. So, yeah.
I'm hoping when you add this or when you listen to it, you're able to get a bunch of tracks
Yeah.
down so we can throw them on
Yeah.
the set list. This will definitely be a band I do check out again.
Oh, me too,
just
for sure.
like listening through.
Yeah. They were my favorite band of the night.
Were they
like,
really?
Yeah, I enjoyed the vocals. I enjoyed how everything came together, and that's where maybe I was just putting the backing tracks out of my mind. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't even remember them, to be honest.
And I could be wrong there. I could have just been Freak, but I have a vague memory that they had a bunch of them as well.
Yeah, that's fine. I really enjoyed it. And I think his vocals is very much like David from Signs of the Swarm. And I think that's why I gravitated so much to liking their set and everything.
I get
it's
that,
just
yeah.
like listening to it and stuff. And he has a very good performance for a deathcore band. Because sometimes like it's like they can do the vocals, they can do everything, but like having the grandiose performance with it is really good. So
yeah, I got the vocal bit. The performance, like you said, was awesome as well. I did enjoy that too. Yeah, I don't know. At this point in the night for me, this is when it starts to get a little repetitive, and I'm like, all right, I'm not necessarily I don't like this. It's just sort of like, all right, let's move on to the next thing, or I want some more nuance. Not nuance. That's the wrong word. I want more diversity, I guess, in the music tonight. But
that's interesting that you say that, because Beheading the Icon, Freak, and LarcEnia RoE are 3 totally different bands.
no, they are. But like
different sounds and everything. In my ears, it's different.
I agree.
So.
I agree. The first 3 bands were very different. But like I said, LarcEnia RoE is where, to me, the night now just gets repetitive with the next 3 bands.
I see. I think you said like when they were playing, you were like,
No.
I'm ready for just the next thing because this is repetitive.
No.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
No, all good. And maybe it came off that way when I was saying it, but that's not what I meant. Definitely, like at this point on, the next 2 bands or the final 3 bands were, to me, a little repetitive in their music, and to me, that is metalcore. But we've talked about this in the past, where I don't listen to it that much, so it's not.
Well, these are deathcore; they're not metalcore.
Sorry,
similar,
yes,
similar yet different.
Yeah. Do you need to blow your nose or something?
No, I have a really bad headache, and these are like pushing on my head.
You can take them off. Do you need to hear yourself speak?
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Should I just take them off?
Yeah, there you go.
It sounds weird though. It's like I don't know. It's just weird to not have them on.
Do you want in ear?
No. Okay.
Okay. Anything else then, I guess, for LarcEnia RoE before moving on to
No, that's fine.
the next band that sounded the same to me?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
The Last 10 Seconds of Life. Again, not to say like they sounded very similar and therefore it's not good. It was good. They put on a good show. It was a good. There's gonna be a few weird cuts in here because Karen is not feeling the best.
Sneezed.
She sneezed. But basically, what I was saying is, just because they sound very similar to me doesn't mean I don't think they're good. I do enjoy it. I don't pick up the nuances like you might pick up because I don't listen to it that much. But if you give me thrash metal, I can probably tell you, like, oh,
you can tell the difference.
Here's why
them.
this one's different and this one isn't. And you would probably say the same thing, like, oh, it's all the same. I don't like this as much.
Sounds a lot of it sounds the same to me.
And I'm like, no, there isn't. There's so much difference there. So it's same thing here. It's just different tastes, different flavors of metal.
Yeah.
But it's the same all around because the crowd was fucking awesome. The performance was fucking awesome. The music was good. I did enjoy it. It's just, But this seems like something that you would really enjoy as well.
I did enjoy them. Not as much as LarcEnia RoE, but I think that's just because coming off of LarcEnia RoE, which I really, really enjoyed, to them, it's like, oh, this is deathcore. Like, it's fine. But there was nothing that in their performance that was like, oh my God, like, this is amazing.
Right.
So I guess kind of like to what you're saying, where like deathcore just kind of sounds the same to you. It was a deathcore band and they were good, but there was nothing that grabbed me.
There wasn't something new and novel about this deathcore band. It's a deathcore band. I've seen this show before.
I wouldn't really go that route or like explain it that way because LarcEnia RoE's nothing new or anything like that, but like his vocals is what grabbed me.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. There's just some bands that are like, oh, that was a good performance, but it's not like, oh my God, they're my new favorite band sort of thing. So not that saying like LarcEnia RoE is going to be my new favorite band.
Right. But a band that you definitely walked away from thinking like this one stuck out for me.
Yeah. And I think, was it last 10, was it the last 10 seconds of life where they only had 3 performers, where it was drummer, guitar, and vocalist?
Was that it?
I think so. I believe I looked on Instagram, and their original drummer had a family emergency.
Oh.
So couldn't continue. So I think they took a couple shows off of this tour, because they're doing a tour with Left to Suffer, and they took a couple shows off to recalibrate, I guess, is I think how they even said it. But I'm really wondering, because I heard bass parts, so I'm really wondering, is the bassist playing drums?
Oh, okay.
I don't know
if
that's the case.
They also had somebody from Left to Suffer come out and sing with them, I think, or play with them, because there's one part where they're like, give it up for XYZ of Left to Suffer.
Yeah, that was, gosh, was he the bassist of Left to Suffer? He has the long hair. Yeah, he came out, but just to do vocals, I think. Just for like a little part of a song, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good show, or good set. And then I guess we get Left to Suffer, unless there's anything else you want to say about them. I just want to double check always.
No, it's okay.
I don't have a whole lot to say about this performance other than like it was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah.
Left to Suffer was fun. It felt short. Their set did feel a little short to me.
It was, yeah. And it was done at 10 o'clock, which is kind of interesting because it started at 6:30, I think.
So doors were 6. Show was supposed to start at 6:30. I think it started like 5 minutes early or something.
It might have.
I can't remember exactly.
I just felt like it was a little early to start if you're going to be done at 10. I don't know.
By bands, I guess. Changeover and whatnot.
We didn't even talk about that. So between Freak and LarcEnia RoE was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was a long time.
And I'm assuming that Freak had a slot to like 8:45 and then do 15-minute changeover to have LarcEnia RoE. 7:45 and then have them go on at 8. But it was like we literally sat there for probably 30 minutes waiting for them to. I mean, changeover was done.
Yeah.
It was
LarcEnia
just
RoE
the time, I think.
LarcEnia RoE also posted on like their social media, right, that they're going on at 8 or something like that. I thought you found.
No, that was on Freak's website or Freak's.
Was it?
Story, yeah, on Instagram. They had like the set times. And
okay.
That's where I saw the 8 o'clock thing. Yeah.
So you were like, it's really gonna suck if they're gonna sit here and make us wait. They did go 5 minutes before 8 on stage, and a part of me is like that does kind of suck. But another part of me is like, if you posted to your fans like we're going on at 8.
Yeah.
And you go early and your fans are showing up at 8 expecting you and they don't show up early, then they might be pissed. So like, you said you'd be on at 8. Why the fuck did you go early? But we've also said like, well, show up early then to the show. See all the openers. Yeah. Not everybody's that way.
They didn't post that though. Freak.
No, that's what I'm saying. But in my head when you said that, it's like, oh, well, that's why they're going to wait.
Yeah. We do have a set list from Left to Suffer though.
Yeah, the only one that has
one that has one posted on Setlist FM. And I did pull this up the night of the show, and I did go through it from song 4 to song 10 are exactly the same. So I'm assuming song 1, 2, 3 are the same as well.
Okay, because this one's actually from January 22nd in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, and they're from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, are
Left
they really?
Is,
I did not know that.
Or they're from Georgia, maybe not Atlanta,
but Georgia.
So, but their set list is Loathe, Just for Now, Discomfort Won't Last, Anger, Overwhelming Power, Disappoint Me, Crash Out, Lost in the Dark, Set the World on Fire, and it ended with Artificial Autonomy.
And this is our first time seeing them, right?
Yes.
You've never seen them?
I believe so. Unless they were at like a Milwaukee Metal Fest or at like some festival.
They weren't at Decibel, were they?
No, not at Decibel. Okay. No. Yeah, I don't remember them being at a festival. So this is probably the first time we've seen them. And I think you kept saying like, oh, we're here because she wants to see Left to Suffer. You said that a few times.
Yeah, but you did want to see Left to Suffer, didn't you?
I did, but it's not like I'm a fan of them. Like, I know their name. I don't really listen to their music. I don't know any of their songs. And I knew that they were a deathcore band, and I was like, it'll be a good show because it's deathcore.
Yeah, I mean, we were asked when we got to the door, like, okay, we don't have tickets. Could we pay at the door? And she's like, oh yeah, $25. We gave them cash. Yeah. And she's like, well, who are you here to see? And I was like, all of them. I don't know. And then I was like, I think she's here to see who is it? The headliner? Left to Suffer. And then you're like, it's a Reggie show. It's gonna be good, right?
Yeah.
Which you also then brought up that like, hey, maybe they're just trying to figure out what bands are bringing people in off the streets.
Yeah, because we were asked that one other time when we came in, and I think we paid at the door. And I think that they ask at the bar stage too, but the last 2 times it's kind of come off on like making sure you're at the right stage.
Yeah, because they've had multiple shows.
Yeah, where here at the Rock Club, the other time we were asked, gosh, I can't remember what show it was, but I couldn't even remember who we were seeing. And I was like, oh, I think we're here to see that, you know, like this band or whatever. But that was another one where it wasn't like we weren't a fan of their music. It was just a Reggie show.
And I mean, maybe it was to make sure you were at the right stage when we were asking her, like, can we buy tickets? And she's like, yeah, go ahead. But who are you here to see, or who are you excited for the most? Yeah. And that's just her way of being like double checking that you're at the right stage instead of being that's like, true. It's more not communicative, conversational. Yeah. And maybe she was just better at that a little bit. I don't like, there's a million reasons for why she could have asked what she did. And also, just curiosity, just wanting to be like friendly and whatnot. That's easily what it could have been too.
I just feel like the last time we were asked at the Rock Club, I feel like she had like a tally on the paper that she was filling out.
Interesting. So
we have a couple more shows coming up where we're going to pay at the door, both in the Rock Club and at the music joint. So it'll be interesting. I kind of want to look for it now, like to see if we get asked.
Yeah. And I was also going to bring that up as well, that, you know, this was a show where we knew it was happening. We threw it onto our spreadsheet. We highlight the row green if we haven't bought the tickets yet. So it's like we need to spend green, our money, to buy the ticket. That's why it's green for me. So that's why it's green and blah, blah, blah. But the Reggie's ones we have coming up, we're going to try to do them at the door. Yeah. We're just going to walk up and do that. So one, we don't always remember who we're going to see. It's more of, you know, XYZ date. We have to go to Reggie's. Let's walk down there, pay at the door. But also there's that risk of it selling out. So this particular show, we said multiple times of, we're going to walk up there. We're going to try to buy tickets at the door. And if they say, sorry, sold out, I'm like, all right, cool. And just walk back home or something. Yeah. Like if we miss it, we miss it. Yeah. Which it would suck. But at the same time, that's the gamble we're playing by trying to buy them at the door.
Yeah. I think the next one at Reggie's, one of the bands is Seven Spires, and that's who we want to see. Yeah. So that one we are going to try to buy at the door as well. But if we miss it, that one will be kind of disappointing.
That one would suck. Yeah. I'm really excited to see Seven Spires.
We might not do this for every Reggie show because we might be buying tickets ahead of time. But one, I think you save like the fees. Like they don't charge you the fee amount.
We saved about $2.30 per ticket, so about $5. Let's just round up to $5.
From what you saw, from what I saw, it would be like $8 per ticket. Yeah. So, we need to like look right now to see what it would be to buy the next two shows that we want to see there, and then like see if even the day of, if it changes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Online, it'll be interesting if that happens.
Also, bringing cash is good. We're really bad at bringing cash.
Yeah,
but
I think the whole world is kind of bad at doing cash now.
But beers were cheaper. They were $10 if you paid cash. It was like 12 and change if you paid with a card.
Oh, okay.
So, and then you leave a tip on top of that. So definitely cheaper to bring cash and pay with cash.
Yeah, that's true. But it was a really good show. And I mean, I would see Left to Sell. I would see all these bands again except for Freak, I would say. But that's just because I'm not a hardcore fan.
So I don't want to sound like I've been shitting on this show because, I mean, it might come off that way because I was like, oh, that all sounds the same. But, like, I did really enjoy this show. Yeah. And if you break it down, $5 a band.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a really good price for these 5 bands. Yeah. Like, even Freak wasn't our cup of tea. Like, it's hardcore. It's not something that we necessarily like. As I said, I'm growing a little bit more accustomed and liking it a little bit more, but still not something I search out. But for $5, like, that's... Come on, that's not much.
Yeah, I'm not saying like if Freak's on the bill, I'm gonna be like, I'm not going, that sort of thing. But because there is a band, Victims, that if they're on the bill, I'm like, I don't want to go see the show. Yeah, but
I mean, I go down to the corner store here and I buy 2 sodas for $8.
Exactly.
$5 for a live performance is much better than 2 sugary waters. Yeah. So, definitely well worth the price for sure.
Oh yeah.
And all the bands fucking killed it. It was great performances all around. So again, $5 a show.
And that's why we like Reggie's. The shows are affordable.
Yeah.
So
fun night for sure. Good way to spend a Friday evening.
Oh yeah.
On a cold winter's night.
It was cold that night because it was warm, I think, during the day, and then it got really cold.
Yep. And then it like snowed a little bit as well.
Yeah, I remember that now.
But yeah, that was our main topic. How we wrap up the rest of the show then is just concert calendar.
More concert announcements.
Yeah, what's coming up and all of that fun stuff.
Gosh.
So
before we go into this, I saw it. I think it was like from like one of those, like, not Metal Injection, that's what you always look at, but like one of those publications on Facebook
newsletters
or on Instagram.
or whatnot.
Yeah. And I think it said that there was 90 rock and metal shows announced in 5 weeks.
Jesus.
Which I can believe.
Yes.
Because since the Tuesday before Christmas to now, which is February 8th, there have just been so many shows announced, like more than I ever remember.
Same. It seems like there's a lot. I don't know if I'm just paying closer attention.
That's what I was wondering. If we
or
were
if
just,
it really is a lot
because we're
more.
doing this format and like this year we're really trying to get our spreadsheet put together and like not waiting until we buy tickets to put it on the spreadsheet and stuff like that. So I'm like, maybe that's why we're seeing this so much. But
and also with this new format, we're putting everything on here that gets announced so that we can talk about it for anybody who's listening who might not have seen this. That's like it's our way of trying to help out, I guess. In the past, I would see an announcement, I'd click on it, I'd scroll down to the dates, and if there was a Chicago show, I would keep it on the calendar, I'd throw it to our spreadsheet. If it wasn't in Chicago, I would then look, okay, is it in Milwaukee? I'm starting to look now at Detroit because that's not that far of a drive.
Yeah, or Michigan somewhere, yeah.
And even Iowa. And if it's in one of those areas, then it's more of all right, maybe, depending on the band, maybe we throw that on there and add that.
Yeah.
But again, we're throwing everything on here. So it could be that. It's also the end of the year, the first of the year. So I think a lot of shit's going to be announced for the winter and spring. And what I would expect is those summer months, we're going to see a very lull, like a low announcement.
It always is that way though, right? Because like June and July and August are generally a little bit slower because of the festivals, the European summer festivals, the US summer festivals. And then everything kind of ramps back up
for
until
the fall.
December.
And then, November, December, it should die down. And then again, at the end of December, start to ramp back up for the next year.
I wonder how November is for like European countries because they don't have like Thanksgiving. Their Christmas season doesn't.
Some sort of Thanksgiving holiday. It's not Thanksgiving. I think it's something else.
Oh, okay. I just wonder how, like, what I'm saying is because, like for the US, like the holidays kind of start like the week of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is the holiday week.
Yeah, where like, and then I feel like concerts kind of
dwindle down.
Yes, I was like, what's that word?
Yeah, you have a few stragglers that pop up here and there.
Like we might do like 3 or 4 shows in December. Where I want, and I'm sure Europe is the same way for December, but like I wonder for like November if they have the lull that we have.
I don't know.
So last year I think we only saw like 2 shows in November.
I can't remember how many we saw. I thought it was more, but maybe it wasn't.
Well, we were supposed to see another one, but we had to miss it because of snow.
Huh.
Anyways, let's go into the news.
Yeah, let's get into this. Also this week there were a number of shows announced in Australia as well as Europe. So what I've done this time is I've broken out the tours based on region. So we're going to go through North America first, go over what's been announced for that. Then Australia for the couple there, then Europe for the few that were there, and then I also have a section for festivals because there were a few festivals as well.
Okay.
So, kind of got these broke up into sections.
You're organized.
I'm trying to get a little organized, yes. First off, we have Godsmack with Rise of Rock World Tour with Stone Temple Pilots and Dorothy. It says World Tour. I think this is just sort of the North American leg because it starts in May 7th in Florida.
Oh, at Rockville.
Welcome to Rockville, yep. A bunch of shows across the U.S. in the summer, ending on September 26th in Idaho.
Oh, interesting. That's a long tour.
This is a very long tour, yes.
And that's all U.S. states, yeah.
Yep.
Well, maybe there's some Ontario and stuff for Canada. So North America.
Yeah. So I suspect that you'll see, again, maybe midsummer or so or early fall, it get announced for a European leg.
Next year. For next fall, yeah.
There's something like that, or next spring, fall, whenever. Yeah. This does appear to be like an amphitheater type show because they are playing at Tinley Park here.
Yeah. And looking at a lot of amphitheaters are listed.
Yeah, so I'm not a fan of the amphitheaters. I would like to see Godsmack again. They put on a good show.
Yeah, that was fun. We've seen them a couple times, and it's been fun when we do. So
yeah, I've never seen Stone Temple Pilots. That would be a really fun band to see, but
Dorothy's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, agreed. I do like it, but definitely. not going to stop me from going. The amphitheater, though, definitely would stop me from going.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think when they're in Tinley Park, I think we're not going to be available. So.
oh, well, sure. But I mean, even if we were, like, I think I'd
probably
pass
not
this
at
up.
it. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, there's a few at Tinley Park later this year that I'm like,
if we can maybe get those cheap tickets on the
I'd
lawn.
go on the lawn and watch that. Yeah.
I think in May is when they do those tickets. Is that right?
They usually do some sort of cheaper tickets in May.
Yeah.
Like Live Nation does, like the spring sale or something like that.
Yeah, they used to be like $20. Now I think they're $30.
Last year, I don't think they had any of the Tinley Park shows.
No, we only got one show. And we only saved like a couple bucks.
Right.
But you save the fees also because they're all inclusive when they do that.
Yep.
So
I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But moving along, we have Onslaught and Warlord co-headlining tour with Face from Hell tour.
Oh, that's a good tour. Okay, so when we do our tour names for the year end, is it only tours we saw?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because there was the Beast of the East tour. I really liked that name.
Yeah, and we're not
for
gonna
like
see
the
that.
hardcore show. This is a really cool tour name as well.
Yeah.
But their UK thrash is Onslaught. So
I've heard of Onslaught, but we haven't seen them.
yeah.
I don't think.
So this could be a fun one to check out.
Yeah.
But in March 18th in Houston, they're starting off there. And then it ends in Atlanta, Georgia on April 12th.
Okay.
They do make a stop here in Chicago at the West Chicago Social Club.
So not in Chicago.
Yes, not in Chicago. Well, is that not Chicago?
No, it's not.
Are you sure?
It's an hour and a half away from Chicago.
Well, so is Rosemont or O'Hare, and that's Chicago.
West Chicago is its own city.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. It's not Chicago.
Well, it's listed as Chicago, Illinois here.
They always list it as Chicago.
We might not be making this one work.
No.
This one was announced some time ago, but still Panther. They added some more tour dates to their 2026 North America tour.
2026?
With a $ and EX. I want to see Still Panther again. We saw them once at Open Air.
Yeah, they're kind of fun.
It's a gimmicky 80s hair metal. They're riffing on that. They're making fun of it. It's a satire band.
Yeah.
They get very raunchy, and
that was the same year that they also had that comedian guy.
No. So the first year they had the comedian. What's his name? Oh, I just say it all the time.
Bruner.
Fuck. God damn it, I had to look this up. I could not think of the name. It was Jim Brewer.
Yeah.
He was there with his
my fault
band.
for saying Brenner, because then that's like in your head. Yeah.
He was there the first year, and then the next year they brought back Still Panther.
Still Panther.
And I was like, oh, so every year they're going to do one sort of comedic band. Therefore, Tenacious D might be the third year.
Yeah. We know what happened to Chicago Open Air, so.
But I would like to see Still Panther again. They added more tour dates. I don't think we can make any of these work.
Oh, really?
They're in East Moline is their Illinois show.
Yeah. Des Plaines.
Are they in Des Plaines? The Plains?
The plane.
But in any case, I don't think we'll make any of these work.
No, I don't think so.
I would like to see them at some point again.
Yeah.
I think the last couple of times they've been through Chicago, we've missed that. So that's a band I always have on my eye to look at. But like I said, they just added a few more dates. We didn't talk about this. Like I said, it was announced a while ago, but just real quick, in March on the 18th, they're going to be in Cedar Rapids. That's the kickoff of their tour. And then May 1st, they end it in New Jersey. I don't know what dates are new, but there's apparently new dates that are sprinkled in there. Moving along, we have Malevolence with their Representing United Kingdom Metal and Hardcore Across North America 2026 tour with Guilt Trip. This could be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. We like Malevolence. They're a boat band.
That's
how we found out about them, was on the boat.
Yeah, and they're a lot of fun. And like I said, they've always had like my favorite merch because they do these weird ass fucking packaging shit. So I love that kind of shit. But they are starting off March. But they are starting off March 31st in Detroit, Michigan, and ending at Milwaukee on April 23rd at X-Ray Arcade, which is another venue we've never been to. And
we haven't.
Always wanted to check out. So maybe we can make that one work, or even that Detroit. Like I said, we want to get down to Detroit as well. So hopefully we can make one of these ones work. After that, similar to Still Panther, Whitechapel has added additional shows. So they're currently on tour, or will be on tour, with Slaughter to Prevail and Attila, sorry. dyslexia yet again.
You're gonna have to stop using that as an excuse.
Eventually
It's
I'll
probably
learn
not your
how
excuse.
these words work. But in any case, we've seen this before with other bands that when they're on tour with people and they have a few dates off, they'll try to book some other tours and other shows.
Where like they're either headlining or supporting somebody else. Yeah.
So Whitechapel is doing that. So they've added some dates around that tour. It's listed between March 30th and May 14th, but that tour with Slaughter kicks off on March 21st and ends April 22nd.
Yeah.
So
the May dates are festival dates, right? Oh, no. Just the Sonic Temple is a festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're just adding a couple dates around.
And Welcome to Rockville as well. So, just throwing a few other shows in there.
Yeah.
So a lot of Whitechapel out there. If this is around your area, you can possibly check that out.
I think Whitechapel was my first deathcore band that I got into.
I think so. Yeah. I think so.
Once I heard it, I was like, I like this. We need to go down that route and only see deathcore for an entire year.
Yeah. This next one, though, that got announced is not deathcore. They are Finnish psychedelic black metal.
That sounds fun.
That sounds a lot of fun. So a band I want to check out.
Is this going to be in our area?
Their first North American tour in 7 years, apparently. This is, I'm going to get this name completely wrong, and I'm so sorry. Ornissi Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
Oranssi is the first word, and then Pazuzu is that second word. Pulling up the dates for this. Starting off May 8th in Seattle, and then they end May 30th in Toronto. That might look like Tokyo to some, but it is Toronto. They are going to be at Reggie's.
Ooh.
So this could be a fun one.
Ooh, yeah. Did you put that on the list?
I have not added this to the list yet, but it will be added.
I don't think we have anything that day, if I remember right. So
that just sounded like fun. So
yeah. We've seen Wayfarer before at Decibel, so.
Have we?
Yeah, they've been there.
Okay. Wayfarer, we were talking about this, I think last night or the night before, but Wayfarer is the band that, like, I've seen their name pop up a lot the last couple of weeks. I think they're on tour with a lot of people, or for some reason their name is popping up all the time right now for me. But moving along, the next one we have Motionless in White with the Sweat and Blood US tour with Lorna Shore and Fit for a King and Static Dress.
Static Dress? I've never heard of them.
This one kicks off July 14th. Yeah, July 14th in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and ends May 15th in Wisconsin. Sterling Heights, Maine, I think. MI. It looks like a WI. This is really small print on Michigan. Shit, that's right. That's how that works. Geography is also not my strong suit, folks. So please stick with me through that little bit.
How small is that writing for you?
It's tiny. I cannot see that. And I'm supposed to have like good eyesight. We probably won't make this one work, but that'd be a fun show.
That would be a lot of fun.
The next one's a band I don't know anything about. They're Scottish alt rock, but I like the name Biffy Clyro.
Biffy.
Biffy, yeah. They're on tour with the
RAUE.
RAUE. Again, not anything I know about this band. I like the name though. And they are Scottish alt rock. Their tour isn't really that big, but it kicks off April 20th in Los Angeles and ends May 7th in Philadelphia, with a handful of dates obviously in between there, including a Chicago date.
Now we're going to head overseas.
Well, we're going to head down under.
Yes.
That wrapped up the North America. Now we're going to Australia, which has Fear Factory for their first Australian tour in 10 years.
See, that's why you don't live in Australia. People don't come there.
Their first full tour in 10 years, they said.
I shouldn't say that. A lot of bands go to Australia, but it's very far and few between. Like, you have to wait years before they come back.
Yep, exactly. So that would, that sucks. And they are there playing, what is this? 3, 6, 8 shows in Australia.
Oh, and New Zealand.
Oh, in New Zealand. Yeah. So they start in Perth on May 19th and end in Auckland, New Zealand on May 35th, hitting up Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Townsville, Hobart, and then
Adelaide.
Adelaide.
I had to think about how to say that.
And those are not in the order they're saying. I jumped around all throughout there. But if you're in Australia, that could be a fun little show right there.
Who are they with?
I don't know. I did not see it announced.
Oh, okay.
Who they were going to be with. And then the other one in Australia is Poison the Well.
Oh, okay.
With Haywire. Maybe that's what it was. Haywire and Wayfair. Maybe I'm getting those two mixed in my head for some reason.
Okay.
But they're out there celebrating their album, The Opposite of December, A Season of Separation, where they will be playing the album in full.
Now, does Poison the Well only do that? Because I feel like we saw them and they were playing album in full as well.
So I think that's a topic for 666 I want to talk about is bands playing albums in full. And I think I understand why they do that now. But we did see them play that as well. Yeah. They will also be playing, according to the little press thing I saw, songs from their new album they're working on. So they'll be playing some of that as well, but they're playing that album in full. It's a big album for them, so it's sort of like a celebration sort of thing. But they are starting in Perth on June 7th, and ending June 14th in Brisbane. And that wraps up the Australia shows. So let's head over to Europe then, where we have High on Fire with their European tour.
As a headliner?
As a headliner, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. I was thinking about, is it Helen or... No, never mind. A different band I was thinking of that are really young kids. And I was like, headlining? That's weird.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, but all right. Yeah. But this kicks off August 5th in Barcelona and then ends August 24th in Reykjavik, Iceland. Moving along, we have Mastodon with their European tour, along with Loathe they will be touring with. This kicks off June 3rd in Helsinki, Mastodon Para?
Yeah, Czech Republic.
In the Czech Republic. And then it ends July 5th in Lisbon.
Yeah, there's lots of festivals on that. So it looks like they're doing the festival circuit in Europe. And then just a few shows where it's with them and Loathe. Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those shows are with Loathe, and everything else looks to be a festival and whatnot.
Yeah. That's interesting. I've never really thought about it this way, like looking at somebody's like Europe announcements, where almost every single one is a festival.
At least in the summer months, yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, I guess people probably aren't going to. If you go to Download, you're probably not going to, well, maybe you'll go to Hellfest, but like, I was trying to think of like two that are pretty close to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like trying to just think of like two that are pretty close together. Like you might not be going to both of those.
Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, there's people that do all of like the Welcome to Rockville and Incarceration or some shit like that.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true. And you do have overlap bands there as well. Yeah. It's my dream someday to take a month off and do the
European
circuit. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Someday, maybe.
And finally in Europe, we have Helveti with Ava Rising Europe Part 3 with Pain and Wolfheart.
That'd be fun to see them again.
It would be. They were a lot of fun. I want to see them again. This kicks off November 17th in Brussels and ends December 13th in Zurich. With quite a few shows in between all over the place there. Yeah. That's one thing I've noticed about, well, I guess that's not that bad. It's just a few months out. I was going to say this is a long way out, but no, it's not that bad for starting in November.
No, 9 months out. Yeah.
Next, we're going to move on to the festivals, which we have 2 to announce, but the Prague Storm Festival lineup has been fully announced. I do not know anything about this. I have not known anything about this, but it's prog metal. And I'm into that, so I would definitely be willing to check this out.
Where's it at?
Where is this? I saw it listed. Montreal.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we've wanted to go to Montreal too. So
this could be fun. I don't know.
Add that sometime.
I don't know who these bands are, but it's Montreal, Friday, August 21st, and Saturday, August 22nd, and the 23rd as well on Sunday. So it's a 3-day festival. The headliners are for that Friday, Scenic. Is that how you'd say that?
Cynic, maybe?
Cynic.
Yeah, I've heard of Cynic, but I don't know if that's the same Cynic, if that makes sense.
Then Saturday headliner looks like it's Car Bomb.
Ancients is right before them, and I've heard of them.
Oh, have you? Okay, Ancients. Yeah. And then Sunday, August 23rd, we have Pure Reason Revolution.
Okay.
Other bands are in there. I'm not going to list all of them off, but there's Heaven's Cry, Sky Passage, Wild Run, Exit, and Absence Illusion, and Hillward. So there's a lot of bands. I've never heard of these. This would be a lot of fun, I think.
I haven't heard most of those bands either. Carbomb I've heard of. Cynic I've heard of. And then what was the other one I said? Or was it just Cynic?
Ancients,
yes. Yeah, I've heard of them. So have I listened to their music? Probably at least once, but I couldn't tell you anything about them.
This is definitely something I don't think you would enjoy.
I wouldn't enjoy it as much. I would go, obviously, but I wouldn't be as into it as something else.
That sounds like right up my alley, honestly. So I could have a lot of fun there, I think. And finally, the last show and the last thing we'll talk about for this episode is Dark Lord Day has been announced and on sale. So the first few bands are Napalm Death, Midnight, Dead Guy, and then I don't know this Crypt Sermon. And it sounds like there's going to be more bands. If you're not familiar with Dark Lord, it's a Russian style stout. It's a big stout. They do a bunch of barrel aged shit. Or I don't think it's barrel aged. It's just adjunct stouts and whatnot. Very, very. I like this. If you're a beer drinker, it's really good. And if you like dark, heavy beers, these are some really, really good beers to have. They do this every year where they put on a little music festival when they release this. So it's a beer share. It's a music festival with those bands we just mentioned. And more, right? It's like an all-day thing? Yeah, there'll be more bands. They said, I don't know how many more. Oh, okay. Maybe like 3 more bands. Oh, okay. So it's not that much. Many. No. Okay. And it does get over at like 9 p.m. Yeah. So it's fun. This is going to be the first time I think that we can actually go to Dark Lord. Yeah. It's been something on your list for a long time. It has been. So I'm super excited. I got a buddy who got a ticket as well to go. And at the moment, you can still buy the beer tickets, which are about $230 with the fees and everything. They're listed at $200. You get 4 bottles of beer, some other goodies, I think, as well with that package. You get entry into the metal festival. Or you can just buy the metal ticket, the festival ticket, which comes out to be about $77 or so after like the tax and all the fees and whatnot. But again, it's listed at like $60. So, $16-17 in fees. So I'm super excited for this. We got the beer package. We're going to go check out some music and just have a good time. So I'm going to drink so much beer that day. You are not going to have any of that beer because you do not drink beer. I do not. So I'm excited for that. This is something, like I said, that happens every year. I think this is like their 30th anniversary or something as well. So past years, bands have included Amon Amarth, which again, Amon Amarth has done a lot of collabs with Three Floyds Brewing, who does Dark Lord. And they're in the southeast suburb in Munster, Indiana. So yeah, should be a fun time. I'm super excited for that. I'm excited to finally go to a Dark Lord festival because it has been on our list for a long time. So, but yeah, that wraps it up. That was the end of the concert announcements. So I don't know. Get out there, check out some music, and maybe we'll see you at the next show. Bye.